Today, I'm going to tell you a story that many of you might find familiar. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you meet a woman, communicate with her, but can't quite understand if she likes you? I've been in similar situations more than once, and I can say for sure. Women rarely speak directly about their feelings, but their body language reveals everything. And observing this more than once, I started noticing certain patterns. Today I'll tell you about the most reliable signs that indicate you're interesting to her. These aren't just my guesses. Research also confirms these points. So watch until the end to catch all the important details. Let's go. The first sign is playing with hair. When I was younger, I thought women adjusted their hair just like that, without giving it much thought. But one time, I noticed that in the company of one friend, a girl did this especially often. She would curl a lock around her finger, comb her hair, or invite him to touch it. Later, I learned that this is one of the most common signs of sympathy. According to research, about 65% of women subconsciously adjust their hair when a man they like is nearby. It's a way to ensure they look attractive in his eyes. The second sign is biting her lip. Have you ever noticed how women bite their lip? I always thought it was just a habit until I stumbled upon research conducted in the early 2000s. It showed that excitement activates nerve endings, causing people to unconsciously bite their lip. So, if a girl does this in your presence, be sure you're evoking certain emotions in her. The third sign is smiling without reason. Once, an acquaintance told me that his new friend laughed at even his weakest jokes. He was convinced it was because of his wit, but I decided to disillusion him. It was a clear sign of sympathy. Scientists claim that during communication with someone we like, serotonin, the joy hormone, is released in the body. Therefore, even if your jokes aren't on the level of a professional comedian, but she still smiles, you know you're interesting to her. The fourth sign is light touches. I noticed this gesture in a cafe, observing couples at a nearby table. The girl would touch the guy's hand, adjust his cuff, or casually touch his shoulder. This is called tactile contact, which women use to establish trust. If you notice such behavior, be sure it's not accidental. The fifth sign is mirroring your movements. I've always noticed that if someone likes you, you start copying their movements unconsciously. Imagine you're sitting at a table and put your hand on your chin, and the girl does the same. Or you cross your arms, and a second later she repeats the gesture. Research shows that about 80% of people unconsciously mimic those they're interested in. So, pay attention. The sixth sign is a special appearance. I've noticed this many times. If a girl suddenly starts looking especially attractive in your presence, it's not by chance. Recent studies have shown that women who like a particular man spend twice as much time on their appearance as usual. They might wear more elegant clothes, do more expressive makeup, or change their hairstyle. All this is a way to attract your attention. The seventh sign is adjusting her clothes. This gesture seems insignificant to many, but it says a lot. A woman who is interested will always keep an eye on how she looks. Adjusting her blouse, smoothing her skirt, or pulling up her socks. These are signs of excitement and a desire to look perfect. However, it's important to pay attention to the frequency of such actions. If you just appeared and she immediately starts adjusting her clothes, inviting her hair, or brushing off invisible dust, it's not just a habit. She wants to look better in your eyes than usual. According to statistics, about 70% of women who are interested in their interlocutor involuntarily adjust their clothes or accessories. This is an instinctive reaction that dates back to ancient times, a desire to make the best impression. Moreover, such movements become especially noticeable if you give a compliment. For example, saying, "You look especially good today." You might notice how she immediately adjusts her collar or tucks a strand of hair behind her ear. It's not just a gesture of gratitude. She's expressing inner joy and approval of your words. The eighth sign is asking personal questions. A woman who is interested will ask questions that go beyond ordinary conversation. For example, she might ask about your plans for the weekend, what you're passionate about, or where you like to spend time. It's not just curiosity, it's a way to find out if you have common interests. But there's an important nuance. The deeper the questions, the stronger her interest. If the conversation is only about superficial topics, like how you're doing or what you're up to, it might just be politeness. However, if she starts asking about your childhood, dreams, or family values, it's a clear sign of sympathy. By the way, research shows that women who are really interested in a man ask questions about his emotional state 3 times more often than those who are just being polite. If she asks not only about your plans, but also about what emotions you experience, what makes you happy, or what worries you, it means she wants to truly get to know you. The ninth sign is deep eye contact. A gaze is one of the most powerful means of communication. If a girl holds her gaze on you longer than usual and then slightly looks away, it says a lot. Research shows that people who are interested in someone hold their gaze for more than 3 seconds in 70% of cases. But what's important is not just the duration, but also the frequency of such gazes. If she periodically catches your eye, then lowers it, and then looks at you again, it's not just a coincidence. It's a conscious desire to maintain visual contact, even if not for long. Moreover, many psychologists note that if a girl's pupils dilate during a conversation, it's a clear sign of sympathy. The brain reacts to the object of interest by increasing blood flow and dilating the pupils, which is how physiology works. By the way, one of the most reliable ways to check her interest is to try holding her gaze a bit longer than usual. If she responds with the same and doesn't look away immediately, then your interest is mutual. However, if she quickly looks away and tries to avoid eye contact, it might be a sign of embarrassment or lack of interest. The 10th sign is a subtle lean towards you. Once I observed a conversation between 2 people and noticed that the girl constantly leaned slightly towards her interlocutor. This is an intuitive gesture that can't be faked. If a woman in conversation with you leans closer than necessary, congratulations, you're interesting to her. Pay attention. This is especially noticeable in noisy places. If you're communicating in a cafe, at a party, or in another place with background noise, she might lean closer under the pretext that she can't hear you well. But if she does this even in a quiet setting, it's a signal that you're not indifferent to her. An interesting fact. Research shows that people experiencing sympathy not only lean closer, but also often repeat the other person's posture. This is called a mirror reaction. If you lean closer, the girl might unconsciously repeat this movement. Additionally, details are important. If during the lean, her shoulders are relaxed, her posture remains natural, and her lips are slightly open, it's a sign of interest. But if the lean is accompanied by crossed arms or a tense posture, it might be a defensive gesture rather than sympathy. Of course, one gesture doesn't give a complete picture, but if you notice several signs at once, you have all the chances. I hope this information was useful to you. Support us with a like, subscribe to the channel, and write in the comments which of these signs you've noticed in your life. See you in the next video.